Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome on in. Hopefully, you guys are having a great day today. We are almost to the end of the week. We have got one more work day to go, and it'll finally be the weekend for everybody. Hopefully, you guys are having a great Thursday. It is June, what, the 6th? Yep, June the 6th, all day long. All day long. We are going to be talking about Madalina Cojocari tonight, so it's going to be a different case than what we're, used to hearing about on the YouTube streets, because this one really didn't hit the streets that hard. Um, Unlike, Sebastian Rogers' case, that one really came in heavy and hot. So we're going to talk about her case tonight. Hopefully, get some eyes over here on her because she has nobody in this country looking for her other than police officers. So I don't even know. I don't even know of anybody like a Bullhorn Betty out there looking. You know what I mean? Like a rogue YouTuber. I haven't even seen one of those. Maybe it needs to be me. Hey, Mary Beth. Hey, Catherine. Welcome everybody in here. Hey, Ladybug. Heather. Oh, and one of you guys said that was it Catherine? Said that she had a kid going to prom and homecoming. I saw that. I was like, oh my Lord of mercy. I hope she is Mary Beth. I'm going to have to reach out to her. Yeah, I haven't heard anything from her. She said that, well, I know that she had been tired lately, so I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. You had to subscribe again. That's weird. Someone else told me they had to subscribe to my channel. Like they keep having to resubscribe. What's going on there, YouTube? Because that's not a me problem. I can't unsubscribe people. Uh, let's see here. KCG, thank you for coming. How are you? There's Tammy. Welcome in, Gwen. Hey, Ashley. We got everybody here. If I missed you, I'm sorry. I went zoned out there for a minute. Hey, West Virginia Holler Girl. I just sort of flowing through the chat, and then I was like, oh wait, I wasn't even looking at the names. So tonight we're going to be talking about the disappearance of Madalina Cojocari. There are some updates in this case. I don't know if you can hear my dog. She's scratching herself behind me. There are some updates in this case, but before we get to the updates with her mother and stepfather, let's go back and I'll summarize the case for you, just in case you're coming in and you're like, hey, I've never heard of this case before. Wow, all right. She just got up, so let me let her out. Hold on one second. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I had to coax her out there a little bit. She's so simple. She's so simple. She's my scariest dog. She's supposed to be my big scary dog, and she's like the biggest baby. So good thing she wanted to go out before we got all into the timeline. Very good, crazy busy. Oh my gosh, someone passed out earlier from the heat. Oh my lordy, yeah. Make sure everyone's drinking water and oh man, and make sure you're eating a little something. Keep something in your stomach too, and stay indoors if you can, if it's all possible. So the last time that we can independently confirm that Madalina Cojocari was last seen, and it was publicly, was on November 21st, 2022, when she was getting off of her school bus at 4:59 p.m. And I do have a video of that. Let me pull that up to show you guys. This is the last seen footage of her. And you'll notice this kid in the back. Well, if I can get it to go back. She's I think the third one back, the second or third. I can't remember off the top of my head. But you'll see them. The kids are coming up through the school or the bus aisle. So she was the third one. So that's her right there, getting off the school bus. I did read today, and I'll read it to you guys also. They had the bus driver come and be a witness, I guess, because she's one of the last people to see her outside of her family. And the school bus driver said that she really liked Madalina and she remembered her name because I think her name was Tina, and Lena and Tina rhyme, she said. And she also said she remembers Madalina so well because Madalina always thanked her for taking her to school and dropping her off. And I thought that was really sweet. Oh, thank you, Ladybug. Appreciate that. Thank you. That's actually our old, this is when our apartment was a different color. I just realized that tonight. I was like, wait, this picture is kind of old. It's probably maybe not even a year, probably. So, let's go back over here. So the report states that this is the last day, that Madalina was seen. Her mother, Diana, tells police that she went to bed that night, like the night before at 10 p.m. and her mother hadn't seen her since. And this would have been on Thanksgiving. So the next day would have been Thanksgiving. That night, Diana and Chris Palmiter argued, and this would have been Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And he left to see family in Michigan and to recover some items that he had to have. So Chris Palmiter decides, hey, I need these items like tonight. So I'm going to go get them. I think basically they got in a fight and he wanted a reason to leave. And that was his reason to leave. I was going to try to throw up a picture of them. Look at this guy. I don't know what I think about this case anymore, but this is him. This is Chris Palmiter, and then I should have just grabbed them both. Okay, so Diana told police basically that she went into Madalina's room to check on her at 11:30 a.m. and she wasn't there. Instead of her immediately calling, Chris right away to ask, hey, is Madalina with you? Diana stayed quiet until he came home on November 26th. So she stayed quiet for 3 days, didn't, ask him where Madalina was, didn't say that she was missing, didn't tell nobody anything. And then he comes home and she asks, is Madalina with you? And he says, no. Is Madalina with you? And she says, no. And it's literally like a cat and mouse game back and forth. Did you hide Madalina? No. Did you hide Madalina? No. It's very disturbing how they were communicating with each other during the first couple of days, or first hours even of her being missing. And let me pull up a picture of Diana here. Look, here, this is a good one. This is when she was walking out of jail the other day. This picture reminds me of a 90s picture. Does Diana Cojocari dress like a 90s mom? What's her name with the two little boys that she ended up unaliving? Remember that? I forget her name. I think she's getting ready to get out too. But that's who she reminds me of. I can't think of that lady's name. So basically, Chris comes home. So Chris leaves. Madalina goes missing. Chris comes home. He still doesn't call anybody. He doesn't call and say, hey, my stepdaughter's missing. He lets it go on for 3 weeks almost. December 12th at 2 p.m. on December 12th, Bailey Middle School attempted a home visit to check on Madalina, and there was no one answered the door. So when they went there, they sent a truancy packet. They left the truancy packet there. Susan Smith. That's it, Catherine. Yeah, Susan Smith. That's who she reminds me of. But they left a truancy packet for Madalina and for Diana, which they never did that when I was young. They didn't do nothing. Doesn't it look like I was about to pull up a picture? Yeah, Susan. I think she's taking a playbook or page out of the playbook there. She does look like her. Let me see. Images. Let me see. Can't find there's too many Suzannes. Why are they pulling me up the right one? This one. She has on this jacket. This 80s, 90s jacket. See, doesn't she look like that? I mean, it reminds me a lot of Yeah, so he didn't do anything. So that's the part about Chris. It's what's going on, buddy? Because it's one thing for your wife to say her daughter's missing and you're out of the state. That's one thing. But you don't even call anybody when you get back to home, because she doesn't ask him when he's gone. So he has no idea. And according to him, he has no idea Madalina is missing because he's up in Michigan and she doesn't tell him until he comes home. When he comes home, that's when they start, asking each other back and forth. So because she doesn't want to start a fight. That's why she didn't ask. That's what she tells investigators. She tells investigators she didn't want to start an argument with Chris. That's why she didn't tell or didn't ask Chris where Madalina was. Now, if that was my child, my first reaction, if I didn't see my child in their bed, it would be to look around the house and then immediately call my husband and say, "Is Madalina with you?" I mean, that would be my first thing. Those are the first things I would be doing. And then after that, of course, I'd be going to the police. Wow, really? I think they're gonna they're gonna let her out soon, I think. Yeah, Susan Smith, yeah. That looks like I mean, just looks so 90s, so 90s like. Maybe that's what's coming back in style though. So, that was December the 12th. So Diana, after they send her the truancy packet, they leave it at the door. Diana calls the school and she asks to meet with them about Madalina, and she tells them that she will bring her with her to the school on December 15th. She fails to do that. So she walks in without her daughter. I mean, I wonder what these people think when they don't have their children, when they're supposed to produce their children and they don't produce their children. Like, I wonder what that feeling is like. I don't want to know. I'm just kidding. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. But like you've got to be in a wreck, a nervous wreck. Like, you know what I mean? Trying to think like I'm gonna get caught because she's did something, obviously. I mean, we know she did, allegedly. Well, no, she's actually convicted of it. So she did fail at least to report her child missing. So on the 15th, Madalina was reported missing by the school and then by Madalina's parents. On December 17th, Diana and Chris were both charged with failing to report her missing. Now, I am not familiar with the laws, so I'm going to get really familiar with some North Carolina laws because I really don't know how this works. Where if you have a child under the age of 18 living in your home, if that child goes missing, why are you only charged with failure to report? And that's it. Is it because technically she could be a runaway? But after how many days are you like, no, she's not a runaway anymore? So if anyone knows anything about that, let me know, because I don't know how she could be possibly sitting on the side of the on this side of the jail cell. She's out right now. She's out. She's not going back to jail for any charges that she's accumulated so far. Oh, it makes my heart hurt. So when officers searched the residence, and we went through all the search warrants and everything. I have a playlist for Madalina. If we can always go through them again as well. But when officers or investigators were going through the residence, they noticed a section of the house that was marked off. And they were told by Chris that they were building an apartment like inside of their home. Like they were building a section of it into an apartment. I'm pretty sure I don't know if I've said this before, but I thought about it tonight. Pretty sure that's illegal to do. Like they didn't have zoning for that. They live in a like subdivision where it's, they have HOA there, all that stuff. So I don't know what you're planning on doing with that extra apartment or whatever you're building, Chris, but I don't know. I don't really know what to tell him because he's out too. I mean, like everyone's gonna be out of jail. So if you're out of jail and you're not from the United States, what do? You go home. She goes home to Moldova, and that's game over. There's no extradition treaty there. They will not send her back if they decide to file charges on her later on. That's why she is smiling like right now in that picture. I just want to like smack that smile off her face. Madalina may be out there and alive and well, but the only person that knows 100% is Diana Cojocari. I mean, really, she says herself, I normally don't go after parents, but she says herself, she doesn't know anybody. She only knows me, Chris. She doesn't have family here. She has friends, but not that many friends. She doesn't know where they live or, can't get hooked up to where there's like, resources. It's just, oh man. So on May 20th, Diana decided to change her plea from not guilty to guilty, which I think she was watching the news. And they released her. um, because she had already been in jail for the amount of time that they could give her, the maximum amount of time. So, we'll read through this little article, and then I'll show you her walking out of the Mecklenburg County Jail. Really just don't get it. I still don't get it. Like, when I need to look, man, I'm trying to think of the Lori Vallow case. For some reason, I cannot think of the exact, like, what they first charged her with. Because I'm wondering, like, what's going on in this case, why they're not charging more. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how you could charge for more, though. I don't know what the charge would be. Unless they think that she's not here anymore. But I don't think that they think that. I think that they do think she might be out there somewhere. So, the mother of a missing North Carolina girl has changed her plea while the child's stepfather heads to trial. Oh, and I actually wanted to tell you, before we read this, I wanted to tell you what Madalina was last seen wearing. Actually, let me get her missing persons flyer up. So, here we go. Missing since November 21st, 2022 from Cornelius, North Carolina. Madalina was last seen wearing jeans, pink, purple, and white Adidas shoes, and a white t-shirt and a jacket. She's 4 foot 10 inches. She has dark brown hair, brown eyes, and she weighs about 90 pounds. If you have any information on this little girl, or you know anybody that does, tell them to call the Cornelius Police Department at 704-892-7773. And it says you may also contact your local FBI office, the nearest American embassy or consulate, or you can submit a tip online at tips.fbi.gov. Here's some pictures of her. So let's go back over to her mom, because, man. On Monday, Diana Cojocari pled guilty to a charge of failure to report a missing child to law enforcement. Diana's daughter, Madalina Cojocari, has been missing since November 2022, and she was 11 years old when she disappeared. She just had a birthday in April. She would have been 13. Diana and her husband, Christopher Palmiter, were arrested 2 days after Madalina was reported missing to a school resource officer. Madalina was last seen getting off a school bus on November 21st. Diana waited nearly 1 month before reporting the child missing on December 15th. At the time of their arrest, both defendants pled not guilty. Diana told the SRO she last saw Madalina on November 23rd when she went to bed. That same night, Diana and Palmiter got into an argument, and the next morning he drove to his family's house in Michigan to recover some items. She noticed Madalina was gone around 11:30 a.m. on November 24th. When Palmiter returned home on November 26th, neither claimed to know where Madalina was. According to the report, the couple spoke several times about Madalina's whereabouts over the next 3 weeks, but neither knew where the child was or contacted police. Yeah, so for those like several weeks, I mean, they were going back and forth saying, do you have her? Do you have her? Like, obviously, neither of you guys have her. The report also states Diana told a detective she believed her husband put her family in danger, but did not know what happened to Madalina. And this woman has more stories than I don't even know. Last July, unsealed search warrants revealed Diana believed her husband may have given Madalina away for money. So she says she believes that her husband put them in danger, and she says that she believes that, Chris Palmiter took, I guess, Madalina and gave her away for money. Diana made the statement during a recorded jail phone call with her mother, during which the women discussed a bag with money, withdrawing cash, and a theory that Chris gave the girl away for money. Yeah, Grandma Cojocari. She's a gem. She's a peach. She says that she believes that Madalina and her mother, Diana, were both trafficked for $5 million. Don't know why they only got Madalina. They didn't get her mom, but I don't think you're going to be paying much for that person. I mean, come on. Why would you pay, $5 million for an 11-year-old girl from Moldova and her mom? Like, no one's paying $5 million there Grandma Cojocari. What's her name? Ricotta? I'll find out. I think that was her name. I'm the grandmother. The reason why I give her a hard time is because she says in her interview, just let my daughter get out of jail. We'll go back to our country and like, we'll just leave pretty much. Like, and it's like, no, you have a granddaughter that's missing. And it's like, what is going on? Like, she's saying, just give me my daughter and we'll leave your country. Well, obviously she knew what she was talking about because look at this now. She's leaving jail, leaving the country. It's Ricotta Cojocari. It says in August, she says, my granddaughter is alive, but she's been kidnapped. Ricotta Cojocari accused Palmiter of selling Diana and Madalina to traffickers for $5 million. Diana's guilty plea was not part of a plea deal, according to court documents obtained by Court TV. After pleading guilty, a judge sentenced her to 6 to 17 months in prison, which she was credited time served and released Tuesday. The judge also told Diana she is likely to be deported upon her release. Diana is from Moldova and is in the country on a green card. Palmiter's trial was scheduled to begin Monday, but has been delayed while another trial takes place in the courtroom where his case will be tried. So that's what I don't get. How could she just leave the country? How could she be actually kicked out of the country? That's even worse almost in a way, because you're like telling her just like, to me, that's almost like giving up hope that we're going to find Madalina. If you just let her go back to Moldova, why would she, you know what I mean? Like, let her out, I guess. I mean, I guess they could be following her, see what she does before then. It makes me so angry too, Walt. I'm about to see how Jan's doing. And welcome in, everybody. Yes, I think that her mom, I think I know her mom. I think her mom knows exactly where she is. But the stepdad's saying he don't believe that anyone's ever going to find her. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And tonight's live won't be actually even too long because I just wanted to get the timeline out for us. Let me like exit out some of these pages I got open. So let's actually watch this little video of her walking out of jail, sulking, I'm sure. I don't know if her mother's come back from Moldova, like if she's back over here or not. I'm assuming she's probably on the first flight over because she's going to try to, like, I think, get her daughter up out of there. Now, I don't know how officers are going to handle this. If there is even if they even have a plan, they may just let her go out of the jail. She may get, like, she's already out of jail, so she may be getting her ticket right now to Moldova, or they may be booting her from the country right now. And then once that happens, once she hits on her own soil, she's not coming back over. So if they decide to bring charges, because let's say they end up finding, heaven forbid, they find a body and they want to bring M charges towards her, they won't be able to because she will be over in her own country. As of right now, I'm not sure where she's at. I need JLR on the case. I really do. I should ask him and be like, go find her. Go find Diana Cojocari. That would be a good one for him. He likes to find people. I should ask him, seriously, because, like, it's right up from, just go up from Florida, buddy. It's like 7 hours, I think, for me. Something like that. Now, if that hair doesn't look like a county jail hair, then I don't know what does, though. I will say that. Doesn't it? Why is it these women look like they never brushed their hair a day in their life? You know, really? Like, they never look like they wash it or brush it. Oh, you're welcome, Spirit Junkie. Yeah, he's okay after stomach issue. Yeah, he needs to go out there and find her.
Diana, who are you afraid?
She smiles when they ask her, like, about Madalina. Like, watch her smile. Like, I don't know if that's a smile, like, I know she's okay. Either way, it's not okay. But you know what I mean? Like, and that's why she's smiling, or if she's smiling because she's proudful, like she's like, you know, I have something over you guys.
Diana, where's Madalina?
Did you see it? It's like so fast. Okay, I'm gonna play it one more time.
Okay, Diana, where's Madalina? Jesus. Diana, who were you afraid of? Why were you trying to leave Chris? Who is this third party that you were afraid of? Diana, why were you trying to leave the country with Madalina? Why were you trying to leave the country with Madalina?
Do you plan to go back to Moldova?
Where are you going to go from here?
Did you make a plan with your mother and cousin about trying to get Madalina out of North Carolina?
Is Madalina safe right now?
Do you know where she is?
It's okay.
I hope so. Come on.
You hope you know where
They
she
don't.
is?
I hope she's safe.
You hope she's safe? When was the last time you talked to her?
You don't have to answer any of their questions.
Do you know she's safe, Diana?
You're okay.
Come on, Diana.
We're gonna.
Diana, do you know she's safe?
What was they eating? What did he used to scream at? Lori Vallow.
Diana,
Where's the
why do you say
children?
you hope she's safe? Do you have reason to believe she's not? Diana, do you think she's in danger
No.
right now?
The only thing with this is, if this is true, let's say Diana hid her in the North Carolina mountains, because she does have a cousin, I guess, there. If she did hide her, how come Madalina hasn't come forward by now? Like, Madalina looks like the type of kid that's going to say, hey, I'm not missing. I'm right here. You know, she doesn't look like she would let people worry unless they're keeping her sheltered from the news, because Court TV, this is the first time they've picked this up. This is the first time they've covered this. I don't know what's going on with people in the news lately, but they're going backwards. Like, you know, like a year and a half ago, two years ago, this case has almost been out and they're just now like touching it. But I was going to say something else. Now I can't remember. But yeah, so like I said, so if she does get out of the country, she's gone. I don't know how they're going to keep her here. I don't know what they're going to do. Now, I don't know if there's anything that they can do. I think she's on probation right now for 30 days. So, and I think it's supervised. Or is that for freaking what's his face, Chris? I'm gonna have to double check on that actually, because that might be Chris. They're both got out with nothing. So I'll double check to see which one that was as well. But yeah, Madalina's mom, she's a gem. And then her mom's even better, you know, just an even bigger saint. Old Grandma Cojocari. Just let me and my daughter leave. We'll leave your country. What? No, it's like, no, you're not going anywhere. We need like the president's, we need to like get someone's attention. I don't even know. Someone needs to get the attention of the president for us. What are we going to do? Well, we can't storm the Capitol. That's already been done. So think of something we could do. I am going to, but if you guys do have any thoughts, let me know. I am going to get contacted the Cornelius, North Carolina, police department. Sorry. And I'm going to ask them like for an update on this case. Like what happens now? Is it just like we're hearing, you're going to let her get on a plane and she's going to go home? And that's her, you know, that's her punishment. And then she was in jail and she got caught with rugs in her pocket. And then they dropped the charges because they said not insufficient evidence. You caught her with it. What do you mean insufficient evidence? Like, oh, KW, I couldn't even get Grandma Cojocari. I was yelling one time on a live about her. I think I've done it twice now. I won't do it tonight to you guys. But yeah, she gets under my skin. When I just hear her saying, just let me and my daughter go home. I'm like, that's all you care about. Because you know what's going on. Diana's in jail. Diana's calling her mother. Diana's mother, I know that there's like, you know, that's her daughter. I don't know how to explain it. Like, you know what I mean? It's her daughter. So she's going to be like, where's my granddaughter? But she's going to also want to take up for her daughter. And it's just like, but what are you doing? Hey, Manny V. So I'm going to read over this article because this was actually pretty good. This article goes over the first and second witnesses that were called up to the stand, and then we'll listen to the opening statements. And they were only like 15 minutes long. And then we'll play some more on our next live. So basically, I don't know what's going to happen next with her. Actually, did I show you the rest of this video? No, we didn't watch all of it, I don't think. Watch the rest of it. I don't think they said
Is there
anything.
anything you want to say to your daughter?
Who's the lady with her arm around her? You know, is that the lawyer lady? Like, I mean, don't shelter her. Don't shelter her. You know what I mean? Come with the same energy, Diana, that you went in there with. Where's your daughter? Oh, thank you, Heather. You just get a comb then. She probably had the comb, the county comb, and then, you know, it broke and she's like, I'm not getting commissary, you know. I mean, someone paid $5 million for her though, right? I think she should get some of that on that commissary. I have a question for you guys. Do you think, because I don't know how I feel yet, but see this guy with his cell phone? Do you guys consider that like still being professional if you have to if you're using your camera or your phone as your camera instead of actually using a camera? If you're out there filming, I'm just wondering. Like if you're in the news, if you're like a news journalist. Victimize the victim, it seems. Yeah. Yeah. There might be a reason she wants her daughter out of the house. That's what we kind of thought. She was saying that she thought that Chris was putting them in danger and things of that nature. She did record a phone call with them one time, like an argument they kind of had. Like, but she started it, and it was a really weird argument. We'll listen to that throughout the lives too, because this will be a few part series here. I'm just like, I have all these windows open for no purpose. So let's go over here and we'll read this article and then we'll watch the opening statements. The opening statements are only like 15 minutes long, so they're not long at all. There's Madalina with her little horse. Well, with a horse. And she's adorable. Absolutely adorable. And if you guys don't know, I have to go back through my playlist because I just remembered we watched a video on Diana Cojocari. It's like her mail order bride video pretty much. I'm gonna have to dig that up and find that and post it for you guys. It's very different. So for 23 days, Christopher Palmiter didn't know the location of his stepdaughter, Madalina Cojocari, a Mecklenburg County prosecutor said during opening argument to a jury Friday. When all of this is wrapped up, you're not going to have the answer of what happened to Madalina, Assistant District Attorney Austin Butler said, but you'll have one answer. And that's the defendant is guilty of failure to report the disappearance of Madalina. The Cornelius girl, then 11, mysteriously disappeared in 2022 following her school's Thanksgiving break. In December 2022, mother Diana Cojocari and Palmiter were charged with failing to report her missing. The couple gave police conflicting information, both insinuating that the other hid Madalina somewhere and that each suddenly had a large bag of money following her disappearance. Madalina's whereabouts remain unknown. Diana Cojocari pled guilty to the charge Monday and was released from jail after spending about 17 months there. Butler and Palmiter's attorney, Brandon Rossman, both made opening arguments Friday to the jury in the case against Palmiter, who's 61. Jurors also heard from the state's first two witnesses. The jury for the trial in Mecklenburg Superior Court is made up of 11 men and 1 woman. 2 alternate jurors, both women, were also selected Friday. So all of these jurors are men except for 1. Well, that's something else. Next week, jurors will hear testimony from Cornelius police detectives. Roseman told jurors that prosecutors had made numerous assumptions about Palmiter and that it was their duty to consider all of the information and context presented in order to render a fair verdict. So the state's first witness comes up, and it's Tina Rory, Madalina's bus driver before her disappearance, testified that she remembered Madalina because their names rhymed and because Madalina always thanked the driver before getting off the bus. Rory said when she would drop her off at school or off after school, she'd see Madalina run towards her house and go inside. Asked if she'd seen Madalina with any adults, Rory said she saw her once walking with a man who she assumed was her father. The jury was shown footage from the last time Madalina rode the bus on November 21st, 2022. Rory was asked to identify Madalina in the video, and as she did so, she began to cry. That's sad. The state's second witness was the school counselor, and that's the person that, was attempting to get a hold of Diana and Chris for Madalina. It says she said that she didn't know Madalina personally, but tracked student attendance. She made sure as a rule to contact families when students had 2 absences. Butler presented several documents from Madalina's school file that contained things such as her birth certificate, student enrollment form, and emergency contact form, and her class schedule. Lampkin and Madalina was doing well academically, Madalina was doing well academically, but that the absences prompted Lampkin to try and contact Diana Cojocari by phone and emails. When she couldn't reach her, she tried Palmiter, who was listed in Madalina's school documents as having permission to pick her up from school. But she couldn't reach him either, she said, despite leaving several voicemails in November and December 2022 and sending emails. So the school is reaching out to Chris. So if he's so innocent, why doesn't he pick up the phone and say, my daughter hasn't been in school. I haven't seen her either. Let's call the police. Come on, guys. It says Butler played those 5 voicemails for the jury. And in the final 2 voicemails, Lampkin informed the family that she'd be making a home visit if they didn't respond to check on the welfare of Madalina and drop off what is known as a truancy packet, which contained things such as her attendance record. Lampkin said she was able to get in contact with a third person identified as Sandy on Madalina's emergency contact form who was not authorized to pick her up from school. Who the hell's Sandy? Lampkin spoke with the person twice, she said. The person said Madalina was sick. So this person, Sandy, all of a sudden comes, she's like, hello, I'm Sandy. She's sick. What? This is the first I've ever heard of this. After speaking with that person, the school received notification through a contact form on the school's website about that Madalina was sick. The form said it was submitted by Diana Cojocari, but Lampkin said there isn't a way to know if it actually was submitted by her or not. Lampkin attempted to visit Madalina's home to drop off the packet, but no one answered, so she left the packet at the door. The day after the phone call, Diana showed up to the school without Madalina. She told Lampkin her daughter was missing. Lampkin went to the school resource officer. Palmiter showed up later to speak with the school resource officer. Madalina was never reported missing to the school prior to that meeting. Roseanne, Palmiter's attorney, asked Lampkin about the school's documents in the file that were shown to the jury. This is the defense when they're cross-examining. Roseman said the documents showed that Diana Cojocari was listed as Madalina's legal guardian, not Palmiter. Palmiter didn't sign on a line designated legal guardians. The father line on Madalina's birth certificate was blank, Roseman said, showing the document. Roseman asked Lampkin if she knew if Palmiter had any parental rights to Madalina, and she said she didn't know. He also noted that Lampkin couldn't be sure if Palmiter lived in the address listed on Madalina's school files. He asked if she knew whether or not he received the voicemails and emails, and she said she didn't know. He said that because she doesn't know his life or work schedule, she couldn't be certain he ever received those communications. Butler, however, showed the jury a deed to a house that was co-owned by Diana Cojocari and Palmiter. The address on the deed matched the address on Madalina's school documents. This says the trial will resume 11 on Tuesday. So this was a few days ago. And now first 2 witnesses. Wow. So you had the bus driver that came forward and then the school counselor, the resource officer, the counselor for the school. And those are the people that are going to be, that was the lady that was calling every day saying that Madalina isn't in school. So nowadays when your kids miss school, they call you like right away, by lunchtime, your kid hasn't been in school, and they will text you, they'll call you, they send you a smoke signal, a carrier pigeon. I mean, they do the whole thing. They do all the things to make sure that that your child is absent. So for Chris to sit there and be like, well, I don't know where she was, but, and no one was really talking to me about it. I mean, Diana asked me where she was a couple times. That's it. Like, what do you mean, dude? It's your stepdaughter. Your stepdaughter should be a number one priority for you. But that's just me. That's just me. I feel like we haven't watched the trial in a while, but we have. We've watched Brian Koberger and stuff. I mean, he's not really on trial, but pretty much so, it seems like. But this is the opening statements. So this is only 15 minutes long. We'll play this through and we'll see what they're talking about. Because I've waited to watch this with you guys. So basically what I thought we would do is we'll play like each night, or maybe even during the day I can come on and we'll play. I think there's like 7 parts or something to this. So it's Chris Palmiter's testimony. So Chris is going to testify on the stand, and that's the video that I want to show you guys. And those are cut into sections by like an hour and 30 minutes. So there's different times. I don't know how long he was actually on the stand. I think a few days. So it's a little bit of time. So it'd be like a 2 or 4-part series. And thank you guys for being here tonight. I appreciate it. If you guys are just now coming in and you're like, what case is she talking about? We're talking about Madalina Cojocari. She's an 11-year-old girl that went missing out of Cornelius, North Carolina. Let me see if I can. Did I really do that? I took her thing off. I was gonna pull her missing thing up. I'll pull it up here in just a second. But actually, I'll just pull this up for now. Oh, maybe. While I'm getting this stuff up. While I'm getting this video up. So Madalina was last seen wearing jeans. And this is kind of weird. Okay, let's just scoot that back for just a second. Why would the last thing you see your kid in, why wouldn't it be pajamas? And why would it be tennis shoes? Like, wait a minute. Hold on a second. You have your child, 11 years old. When I was 11 years old, I think my mama was still putting me to bed. Yeah, she still was. So my mom would have tucked me in. So she would have been like, yeah, she was in her pajamas. Not that she was wearing jeans, tennis shoes, a jacket, a t-shirt. Like she's ready to go out a night on the town. I just thought of that. Because Diana's saying that Madalina was last seen wearing jeans, pink, purple, and white Adidas shoes, and a white t-shirt and a jacket. So, But she is 4'10". She has dark brown hair, dark eyes, like brown eyes, and she weighs about 90 pounds. Oh, man. Okay, we're going to play this. If you guys don't mind taking a second, hitting the like button if you do appreciate the coverage. If you guys do appreciate the coverage and you want to hear more, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And we do talk all true crime cases that are out there right now. We're just taking a break from some, because we need a break from some. But I don't know if there's any updates in Sebastian's case. I don't think so. I haven't really looked today, to be truthful with you guys. Yeah, I haven't really looked today. It's and my brain kind of needed it. But I will look on Twitter while we're watching this, see if there's anything updated.
3 days. From November the 22nd to December the 15th, 23 days went by where he didn't know the location of Madalina Cojocari. 23 days went by from the last time that he saw his stepdaughter till detectives with the Cornelius Police Department confronted him about her whereabouts. 23 days. In a few moments, you're going to hear from Tina Rory. Miss Rory was Madalina's bus driver. Miss Rory is going to talk about how she knew Madalina as a person, about how Miss Rory's first name is Tina, and her name was Madalina, and she could never forget her name. How sometime during that fall, Madalina started riding the bus. How Madalina would say thank you at the end of every day. get off the bus a half block from her home on Victoria Bay Drive, and run home. You'll hear Miss Rory explain after November the 21st, she hadn't seen Madalina on the bus. You'll see video from November the 21st when Madalina got off Miss Rory's bus the last time she saw her. This afternoon, you're also going to hear from Denise Lampkin. Miss Lampkin was Madalina's guidance counselor as a sixth grader at Bailey Middle School. Miss Lampkin's job duties include monitoring attendance, making sure kids are on track academically, providing resources to students in need. Miss Lampkin, in November of 2022, didn't really know that. Probably a good thing. On track academically, everything's fine. However, Madalina came across Miss Lampkin's radar when she started getting notifications about a number of absences. Seeing that Madalina hadn't been in school since November the 21st, the Monday of Thanksgiving week, Miss Lampkin started reaching out on November the 30th. On November the 30th, she called him. He didn't answer. But Miss Lampkin will tell you how she left a voicemail. You'll hear that voicemail. At first, you'll hear Miss Lampkin explain about how she was just reaching out to check and make sure the girl's all right. That she's not out sick, something more serious enough, that she stayed on track with her assignment. You'll hear 4 more voicemails from Miss Lampkin. If you listen closely, you will hear the frustration grow in her voice from call to call. From an initial check-in to December the 13th saying, if you do not call me back, I'm coming to your house. You have minutes to return my call. Ms. Lampkin will explain about how she went to the house on Victoria Bay. His house, Madalina's house. She knocked on the door, nobody answered, she left a truancy packet. Ms. Lampkin will explain that she never received any word from him the entire time. Emails, letters, calls, voicemails, no response. Finally, on December the 15th, Madalina's mother.
It's almost as if he knew to just ignore it. Like Diana was saying, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it.
Arrived at the school. Ms.
Or he
Lampkin
really
only
just
did
didn't
one
care.
problem. When she got there, Madalina was not there. Ms. Lampkin, already growing suspicious when that happened, she'll explain that she called on the News Police Department. There's a school resource officer there at the school, and detectives came in. Maybe not today, likely on Monday, you're going to hear from Detective Brad Nichols. Detective Nichols walked into a room around noon on Thursday, December 15th. He was sitting there with the school resource officer. Detective Nichols, not really knowing what's up, you'll see him. He says, somebody just called me in, and kind of fill me out what's going on here. Where's your daughter? Where's your stepdaughter? His response? I don't know. When's the last time you saw your stepdaughter? I don't really remember. You'll hear the confusion in Detective Nichols' voice as he tries to understand what is happening. Detective Nichols was wearing body-worn camera. You'll get to watch that. You'll hear about a 45, 50-minute conversation where the defendant explains his role in Madalina's life, where he explains, and if you listen closely, where he explains or offers 4 explanations of where Madeline could be, where she could have been over the course of the past 3 weeks, over the past 23 days. If you listen closely, you'll hear the first explanation. She's at a friend's house. What's the friend saying? Oh, well, Elena or something like that. I think she went to a birthday party at her house. You'll hear Detective Nichols say, that doesn't happen. You'll hear the defendant change. They'll say, well, I've seen in the news where kids sometimes get kidnapped. Maybe that's what happened. Third, you'll hear the defendant offer the explanation that, well, I expected her to be here at school when I arrived today. If you listen closely, you'll hear the fourth explanation, and that's that Madalina has been in a room for the past 23 days. You let Detective Nichols know that he believed that because the light was on in her room. Ms. Lampkin, Detective Nichols testified. You'll see the defendant, although maybe a stepfather, that he was a person involved in Madeleine's life. Ms. Lampkin will walk you through school documents that show that he's listed as her father, that he's the only person besides her mother that can pick her up from school. You'll see Detective Nichols will walk you to the inside of that home on Victoria Bay Drive. You'll see Madeline's room. You'll see the defendant's room. If you look closely at some of the photos that Detective Nichols is going to show you, you'll see 3 bikes at the front door. The dad bike, the mom bike, the little kid bike. Not only are you going to hear from these witnesses, you're going to hear from Laura Hall. She works for the FBI as a civilian employee. She goes through people's cell phones. She's an expert at pulling data off phones, computers, or whatnot. She's going to walk you through not that house, but she's going to walk you through the contents of the defendant's phone. You're going to see internet searches about truancy. You're going to hear those Miss Lampkin voice notes. You're going to hear voice notes from other people. You're going to see the call. More importantly, you're going to see text messages. She's going to walk you through a number of things in that phone that shows that the defendant was taking steps to make sure people didn't know that Madalina had disappeared. As we talk about the jury selection, this trial is not about what happened to Madalina. You won't get that answer during this trial. At the conclusion of this trial, I'm going to have an opportunity to come back and get a closing argument. I'll talk about the law, talk about the facts. The defense attorney may have already talked to you, or he might be talking to you afterwards. And when all this is wrapped up, you're not going to have the answer of what happened now. But you'll have one answer. And that's that the defendant is guilty of failure to report the disappearance.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, good afternoon. I've introduced myself a number of times, so I don't think I need to do that. First thing that comes to mind from the state
He looks like a man that's paid by the state.
dissertation of evidence that I think that you're going to see is that you may not understand why we're having a trial. And that might be something like, okay, well, Madeline's not been reported missing, so what's the issue? Well, the reason you're thinking that is because you don't know the story. You don't know what happened here. You don't know the full picture. And so we're going to get to that. I did want to acknowledge with you, and we talked about this in jury selection extensively. And as the state said, we're not going to be able to answer the ultimate question of where Madalina is, and that's not what we're doing. We're not going to be able to tell you that she's safe, if she's not. I don't know. And I don't think that anyone knows. And we hope that she's safe. We hope that she's fine. We hope that she's recovered. But I just want to put that out there in the sense that this trial is about failure to report. And I feel that it's incumbent upon me to tell you that in defending a case of this nature, that you remember to separate the issues and not think that you don't have compassion for Madalina in this portion of what happened in this story, this issue of legal liability for the failure to report. Those are two separate things. And from the state's summary of the evidence here, coming back to, well, what is this about? It's 23 days. Madeline was not reported missing from her death. How is that possible? And why? Why is everything? Why is why we have trials? I think there may be a member of the jury who was removed previously, but the question, or the comment he brought up was exactly that why is the reason that we had a trial. It was just a mechanical application of A and B without knowing what happened and why a person did something and what someone knew at the time that it happened. That's not justice. That's not fair. In this context of failure to report a missing child for 24 hours, just by way of example, I haven't seen my child in the last 24 hours. I've been working in my office. Does that mean that I would have to report her missing? Now that's a very different context than 23 days. But you got to know the story. You have to know the why before you can make an assumption. And that is what the state's done in this case. The state has made assumptions as to what Chris did. The state has made assumptions, numerous assumptions, about many things that we will get into. But right now, I'm asking you to keep an open mind, to remember the promises that you made. You would hear all of the evidence before you made a decision, that you would give Mr. Palmiter a fair shake, that you would hear the evidence in the case, and that you would determine if the state has really met its for improving what is represented to you now. So thank you very much. Hopefully we can try to get this case concluded as quickly as possible. I really appreciate the time and attention to details. So thank you so much.
We already watched that. Okay. So that ended quickly. I didn't know it was going to end that quick. Thank you, Mary Beth. I will enjoy me something tomorrow. I like a hot coffee though. I'm not like a hot coffee person, but I'm a hot chocolate person. So maybe I'll do that. We usually will get it whenever we go to Target. We'll go in there. But I haven't been going to Target that much lately, guys. I'm like, I don't know, turning over a new leaf, I would guess you would say. Just, I don't know why I haven't. It's because it's just been so hot and gross. I don't even want to get in the car. But I wanted to just put out the timeline for Madalina's case tonight, and then tomorrow or on our next live over Madalina's case, I'll probably try to do some like lives, like I said, during the day. That way we can get the cases caught up. But I was gonna say something else. I don't know what to say now. But yeah, so we're going to start off with, we just did the opening statements, and then we're going to go over his Paul Mettler's testimony. So he took the stand. So we're going to listen to it. I was looking over on Twitter and stuff just to see if there was anything like with Sebastian's case. I didn't see anything. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything. I guess there was, well, this was April. Never mind. Just kidding. Just kidding. Let's see if there's anything under the latest. Someone said, "Oh my God, all the crappy YouTubers are suing each other." People's already been suing each other since before this case. It doesn't have anything to do with Sebastian. I don't even think half the people she said even has them. I think it's just Queen Bee and Bullhorn Betty against each other. Let's see if there's anything else. I don't think there is, though. No, that's really sad. It's really sad. I know that there's people out there, I'm sure talking about it. Don't know what they're really going to talk about, but they'll find something. They'll find something. But no, I wanted to come on and I wanted to give you guys an update in Madalina's case because his trial's done with, he's done with it now. And we'll figure out the outcome. But it just goes on and on and on. Yes. It seems like it's not going to stop. I would love to have some people pick up this case. I'd love to get some more eyes on Madalina's. That'd be nice. And I think that once we start doing more of it's not going to be that much of many lives, just a few. But I think that people will go back and watch them, hopefully. And maybe, when Sebastian's case dies down a little bit, because I know his case is the thing to watch right now. It's Sebastian. But it's we don't really have anything. And none of the parents have been talking. Which is a good thing in my personal humble opinion, because it's going to make social media kind of die down a little bit and get off of them. I feel like so much. But Seth hasn't done an interview. I haven't seen him on any YouTube streets for a long time. It's probably been 4, 5, 6, 7 days. I don't know exactly how long it's been. I should start counting the days now so we can see if we need to send a search team out for him, because I haven't seen him. And this is weird because Seth normally is out there saying something. Now, Tony Mathis is another story. He is still continuing to talk, but he's not really talking about the case as much as he's talking about fishing and things like that under Sebastian's name on TikTok. They were talking about bass fishing last night, and we listened to it, and I'm like, are we really listening to this? When I asked him, is this a live about Sebastian? They were like, yeah, but when we don't have any updates, we just sit here and talk. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I can't really be too mad about that. That's what we kind of do on my channel too. So I didn't see anything on TikTok, but Stephen Crabtree has also been kind of MIA for the last 2-3 days. He was supposed to go down there. He was on the boat. We saw him on the boat doing the boat thing. Sonar. Tony's supposed to help him read sonar. He would see an anomaly, and then he would send, Tony a picture. Tony would, say, oh, that's a rock or whatever. But I haven't heard anything from Steven. So either he dipped out because he was like, this is just too big of a job for one person, because his 2 buddies didn't show up with him that day to help him, or he's doing a really great job and he just doesn't care about being live. But, I don't think that's the case. Yeah, Heather, it's mentally, I can't handle it anymore either, Heather. I can't. I mean, and because a lot of we all kind of have a little personal interest in this, as much as I don't want to say I have one way or the other. I do have a bias a little bit, and I hate that. So that's why I'm trying to be non-biased here completely, which I don't think Seth did anything to his son. It just, when he's out here constantly just berating the mom and stuff, I don't know, just things like that. And I don't know, it just gets me in. It just makes me upset. It makes me upset for Sebastian. And that's so then my anger goes towards Seth. And I shouldn't do that, but it does, because I want to find Sebastian. And I don't like people that are blocking that or not letting that happen, or, are getting themselves into trouble and they're just doing all the things. And it is just drama. Yeah, it's a lot of it is drama. It's all drama now because there's nothing coming out. There's no updates. So there's no new interviews with Seth. There's no new interviews with Chris or Katie. There's no new interviews about this case with Tony Mathis even. Yeah. Yeah, he has to give permission. Yeah, he doesn't know how to read the graphs very well. He brought too much drama. Yeah, Mary Beth, probably. I would be like, shit, what'd I do? Get me out of here. I mean, really though? Can you imagine? I just feel like, I don't know. I don't think any of the parents did anything. I think he was lured. I'm gonna go over that. I wanted to go over that in a live, like what I think happens. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow night. But because there's a story, there's a case that comes to mind when I think of being lured out of your home and stuff like that. So, and it's not always by like the boogeyman, somebody that's scary. So maybe we'll go over that tomorrow. Yeah, but that's all I got for you. Yeah, except all their crazy Katie. Yeah, I don't think Seth did anything. I just feel like, I think Seth bit off more than he could chew. But I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like none of the parents really had anything to do with it. I know that we're going to end up finding out sometime, but hopefully this doesn't turn into another Summer Wells case where we're 3 years down the road and we're still talking about where are you? What could have happened that day? But this will be that night, I hope that we, I hope that the family, I don't even care about myself. I hope the family gets answers. All of the family. But I definitely will make sure that I come on and bring any updates. I'm going to sneeze. Sorry, I can feel my nose tickling. But yeah, no, I'll be right on if there's any updates. And then the other cases that we're covering on the channel I'll be on to do updates on those. Because Long Island Serial, so they ended up charging him with 2 more murders today, not just one. I thought it was just going to be one. Then they went back in the home and they found like 41 computers and this many hard drives and this and this and that. Why didn't they take that the first time they were there? I'm like, what's going on here? They just found like a whole boatload more of electronics. So I'm wondering how they found them, if they were in a secret bunker or something. Did someone have to tell them where they were? There was like VHS tapes in there from like the 90s. Oh, y'all know it's going to be getting crazy. Yeah, people have been donating, but there's no reward. Yeah. I guess local businesses put together 3,500, but nothing else. But I guess they tell the parents to not, like, if they have money, to not put up a big reward because of like people trying to hold people for ransom, I guess. But I don't really know how that would work. I mean, if you already have the person, you didn't realize they had money until after. I don't know how that would work, but I don't want to hear about Tony Mathis. Oh, thank you, Mary Beth. My dad used to say that my eyes look like that. I have like similar eyes to Vincent, but he's way cuter. Thanks. I keep looking at this picture because I'm like, this picture actually looks pretty good. I don't remember taking it. I remember that shirt though. Yeah, if he's found and found deceased. I think, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like he could be out there. Just, how do you not know you're missing though? Like, you know what I mean? How do you know the world is not looking for you? Unless those people just don't have TV on, no internet, no nothing. Or he's terrified to reach out. I mean, either way, it's extremely devastating. But I think that they will find Sebastian, and I pray sooner, than later. no one deserves to be missing somebody and not know where they're at. That's like one of the worst things I feel like you could go through as a person. I mean, the not knowing, that would drive me insane. So, but let me know if there's anything else you guys want to talk about. If not, I'm going to jump off here. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he could be out there right now, just with somebody. And maybe he's afraid. Maybe he's heard some of the things that were said online. And maybe he thinks he's going to be in trouble because maybe he hears the tone in his parents' voices. You know, let's say if your parent was upset with you, you wouldn't be able to know, even if they said they wasn't upset. You know what I mean? I feel like you would know. So why does his wife still live in that house, the Gilgo? Oh, because she's not moving out of that place. But do you think that she has an alibi now for those 2 dates? Like, this is getting good. And then they found a female hair on one arm and a male hair on the other or something. I would think the people he had, if people had him, they would report it. But if they're getting paid and not report it, I mean, because there's a lot of money coming in, but we don't see a lot of money going out. We don't see any big purchases or anything. So I'm wondering where all that money is going. I want to know it all. I want to know everything. Let me go over. I'll go over to let me see. Looks like people are just talking smack on each other. You know, these people are talking about Chris and Katie. These people are talking about, Seth. So, but Karen Reed, is that trial about over now? Let me know. Well, it's a slow night and we still made it to the algorithm. So, that's good. Is it worth going to pay? No, it's not worth going to prison. But, people be dumb, girl. People be dumb for some money. I haven't followed the Karen Reed case either. I just wondered if it was done, if it was close to getting done. Because I saw that they, the tail light and all of that, and the boot and the belt. And I was like, oh, and Karen looks a little worried. She looks a little older. She looks like she's aged a little. Like she looks stressed. Women know. You have like a stressed out look and you have a refreshed look. She looks stressed out. Man, it's close. I just want to see I just want to see the outcome. And that's only because so many people have, been talking about this case. So I just want to see the outcome of it. I haven't really been following it. I just know the basics. You know what I mean? Like the basics. I don't watch any lives or anything over it, but you never know. Maybe I will. Man, everybody is still talking about. Now seems like everyone's talking about Seth. Can't make up their mind. People cannot make up their mind. It's so crazy. From what I know about, I don't really know the case, but from what I know about people and their personality, I'm just saying she hit that man. She didn't mean to. She meant to. But I think as soon as she did it, she was like, oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just am saying, I know an East Coast attitude from Philadelphia. I know tempers can flare. Not saying everyone would do this, or anyone's capable of doing this, but I think under these were the worst set of circumstances for them to be under. And I think everything that placed them there, where they were that night and how they got to where they were, it all was just like a perfect storm. So, yeah, 9 drinks. And then she said she had 6 or 4 or something. And then she changed, the number changed. And I'm just like, dang. That's yeah, they are. Well, they are big drinkers too. A lot, and it reminded me of where I grew up. We used to all hang out with the cops. Like I was friends with officers, like they were my age. Like, we were going to the bars with them, and we were like having a couple drinks and getting in the car and driving over to their house, not like intoxicated, but like over to the party spot. And they weren't telling us like sobriety test first. Do you know what I mean? Because I've heard people saying that, like, why didn't one of the officers tell her she couldn't drive? Well, she's a grown ass woman. you know, Apparently she could drive that big car. But I heard it was within like an hour or something. I heard it was within a short time period anyway. So I don't know. I think that she would just maybe hit that gas and she just didn't think about it. But I don't know. And yeah, she might not, I mean, she might have just knocked him down. Yeah. But she would know. I mean, I think she would still know. That's just, man, it's crazy. She was probably like, damn it, this is going to be a bad night. Like, that's what I thought. Okay. So, when I was having my car accident, I was in the passenger seat and there was like 30 seconds to where I literally was having like processing a whole thought. Like, I mean, I processed so many thoughts within this, it was like 5 seconds, but it seemed like an hour. And one of the thoughts that I was processing was, man, this is going to suck, because I could tell we were going to get in a car accident, and it was crazy that I could even have a thought like that. But I was like, this is going to suck. We're going to be in a car accident, but I just I had this whole thought of like, this is just going to be a sucky night. Not knowing exactly how lucky I would be to even be able to say these words now. At the time, I was just thinking, this is going to suck. We're about to be in a car accident. So maybe it was like, she just wanted to get out of there. She wanted to like try to figure it out. I don't know. But I don't know if she did it or not. And if she did do it, I don't think she did it with really with that much malice. I don't think she meant to like unalive him. I think she just was really upset. And that really sucks. But I don't know. But I don't know if she did it or not. Like I said, I haven't really followed the case too much. I just kind of just based on like feelings. It's like not based on evidence. Mine's just based on feelings. So don't take it from me. I know that half a days. And that's what I'm like. That's what I was thinking, Tammy, because they took off like all last week or something, wasn't it? Like the rest of the week. What's going on over there? I'll have to. I heard the glare was there, so I'll have to keep my eye out for that. I'll have to watch that. I'm sure it's funny. But thank you guys all for being here tonight. I appreciate it. Do I think she belongs in jail? Yeah. Yeah, I do. I don't think she, now maybe not the rest of her life. I do think this is more of an accident, but it was like, what do they call that? Sudden passion. I think they're going to end up I think they'll drop it down to like a manslaughter or something, you would think. I think that if John was here, I don't think John would want her to go to jail. Because from what I have seen of this trial and I've heard of this case, I've heard a lot about John, and he seems like he was a perfect gentleman. He really seems like he was a good one. But yeah, I think she should get some time in there. She's been out. She bailed out. She's been living on the high mountain. She's got Turtle Boy riding through freaking whatever for her. 16 indictments of witness intimidation. I mean, do these guys think they're going to get a date with her? Because they look kind of creepy. And anybody that calls himself daddy and other men that call him daddy, that's weird. Y'all are weird if you're calling him that. Y'all are weird. Calling him daddy. That's weird. And yes, there's a lot of people that have no remorse for what has been done to the victims' families. Tuesday is dead. You're absolutely right about that. That's what it infuriates me. That's why I don't like watch a lot of I don't watch a lot of the coverage, because these people will have their children out there, free Karen Reed signs, and screaming at John O'Keefe's family members that are just going into court. And they're like calling them the worst names I've ever heard and doing the absolute mostest. And it's like, guys, this is an officer. It doesn't matter if she's at this point guilty or innocent. Like, this is an officer that was murdered, no matter what. This is an officer that was, you know what I mean? Like, have some respect. You know, I mean, if it was the other way around and people were standing there screaming at Karen Reed and calling her names, I think people would be up in arms. There'd be a fight outside the courthouse. Another one. Tom CPU would be out there air fighting people. Fist puncher, or, you know, air punching. But I am going to jump off here. I'm going to come back on though tomorrow. I'm going to try to do a day live so we can get some of these cases like caught up. But I do appreciate you guys all being here tonight. And hey, CJK, we're just getting ready to get off here now. But I hope you guys all have a really good evening. I will be back on tomorrow during the day, sometime tomorrow afternoon. I'm not sure what time, but maybe around like 2 or so. I do have a doctor's appointment, so sometime after that. But I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful Friday. If I don't see you before then, if I don't see you before tomorrow night, have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.